Next subject on the agenda is the Community Intensive Supervision Project. Joseph DeGardis and James Ryland will make the presentations. Before you begin, I understand that there are 2 seats over on the far side, right there, available for the next presenters, which may make it easier for you to move to the podium when your turn comes. Please proceed.
Okay. The Community Intensive Supervision Project is a program that was developed and is operated by the Juvenile Court in Allegheny County, and this includes the city of Pittsburgh. It serves as an alternative to institutionalization for serious juvenile repeat offenders. All of the young men committed to this program, if this program did not exist, would be in an institution. The goals of the project are certainly to provide an alternative to institutionalization for serious juvenile offenders, to reduce the recidivism of the youngsters in the program, and to significantly impact the court budget. The young men in the program between the ages of 10 to 18 are placed in the SIS program with an average of about 3.1 referrals and 2.1 adjudications. This research is provided by the National Center of Juvenile Justice, who is doing the evaluation for the project. So we can see that we're dealing with serious offenders who are repeat offenders, and it is definitely, the program does definitely address a need that is stressing out and challenging the human and financial resources of the court system. All of the young men in the program have committed serious felony property offenses. They're crack dealers, they have assaulted people, they are brought to the court for robbery and firearms violations. Most of the young men in the program, in fact, are active gang members. The SIS program is a true community-based program in the purest sense of the word. It is designed to operate in neighborhoods located in the neighborhoods that have been identified as having significant crime rates and high institutional rates. The young men committed to the centers must report to the SIS center, that's the Community Intensive Supervision Project, from 4 o'clock till midnight, 7 days a week. While in the center, they are exposed to random drug testing, to drug and alcohol counseling, to individual counseling, and to community service. In fact, each youngster in the program must complete 180 community service hours prior to being released from the program. The most innovative aspect of the program is indigenous staff. The program is staffed by community monitors who live or must have some connection with the neighborhood where the centers are located. And this is the key to the program. I think this is the most innovative part of it, plus the 4 to 12 hours that the young men must report to the program, because this is the highest risk time of the day when most of the crime is being committed. The project is also cost effective. It costs the court $55 a day to place a youngster in this program as compared to $85 to $210 a day if the youngster was institutionalized. And most of the youngsters spend 9 months in the SIS program, and this is comparable to what would be spent in an institutional placement. So it is definitely a cost-effective way to avoid institutionalization for serious juvenile offenders. The recidivism rate of the young men placed in the program is 12% while they are in the program. The longitudinal studies that are being presently done now is to determine how long the youngsters stay out of problems after they leave the program. The preliminary data is approximately 50% recidivate and 50% do not recidivate again, and hopefully we can improve on this particular statistic. The program is very important to the court system, to the state government, and to local government. It is going to be replicated in our own jurisdiction by opening up more CISP centers in order to expose more of the jurisdiction that we're responsible for to this particular treatment model. I know that it is also very important to the federal government. Janet Reno visited the CISP Center and was very impressed by the intensive program that it did exist in this center, and there has been a steady stream of visitors from Washington, D.C. who are evaluating our program on a daily basis. Okay.
Mr. Ryland, will you be making?
Take questions.
Right. Are we? Yes, Ellen.
I think one of the admirable things about your program is the way you continually add new components, but you spoke about the lack of parental support as accounting for some of the failure to adjust, and then your answer seemed to be a boot camp. And I wondered both what you saw as the connection and whether you had any particular evidence that boot camps were effective in either increasing parental support or helping young people to adjust.
Yeah, I don't think they're particularly related. We are taking additional steps to improve parental support, not only of the program, but of the issues that the kids have at home. What we have found in many of the neighborhoods where the kids are living at is that many of the parents have become involved in their own substance abuse, particularly the crack problem that's developed in the inner cities. The whole idea behind the boot camp was to provide another short-term, quick, structured kind of a program for kids who needed some structure in their life. The whole issue around parental support starts to multiply where parental support is not there, truancy at school develops, other attachments to gang members develop. So it becomes a continuing snowballing effect where kids are getting involved in a multitude of other problems because of the lack of parental support. We do believe the boot camp will be effective in the sense that it will provide structure, and when kids leave the boot camp, they'll be returning to our program, and so that it will be one continuum of service.
Jake?
I wonder if you'd describe in a little bit of detail the way the monitors work with I'm particularly interested to know, and in my experience, that volunteers, while extremely well motivated, can't be relied on.
Right. The monitors are not volunteers. The monitors are paid staff who are from the community, so they're part of our court staff. The way they function is basically each one is responsible for kids while they're in the center, but more importantly, the whole idea of role modeling is really the keynote of our program, where kids are able to look at staff members who grew up or are currently living in the same community they are, use them as role models, that these people on our staff have been able to complete an educational program, become employed as a productive member of the community, and to be a role model for kids in our program. The whole idea of volunteers is where we engage other community organizations in our program who offer some specific or a particular specific activity for the kids to participate in, and that's an adjunct to our normal staffing patterns.
We have 4 questionnaires and we will conclude we'll see how the time goes, but we'll start first with Dot, and then Hubert, and then Harriet and Antonia.
I understand that you are dealing with a problem that is of greater magnitude, which is the young male. What is the ratio, for example, between male and female in the same age category that would need something of this type? Are we talking about a 2-to-1, 10-to-1?
Yeah, in our system, we have about 85% are male and about 15% female. We do have the program we operate that we just described is for males only.
Yes.
But we do have an alternative program run by a private provider that handles females. It's not quite as intense as the program we're running, but we do have that same option.
Hubert?
I was wondering, in view of the abuse that frequently occurs in situations where you've got supervision that has not been checked, what steps you've taken with respect to the monitors in your screening process to ensure that you've got what you call good, hardworking people in the community. Are they allowed in if they have criminal records, felony nature, previous histories of drug abuse? What's the standard for determining who comes in and who doesn't get in?
Our standard for our community monitors is the same as that we have for our probation staff in that sense, that we don't hire people with criminal records, although many of our monitors have had contact with police, but it did not end up in a criminal record or a conviction. We don't knowingly hire people who are addicted to any substance currently. So what we're trying, again, the keynote is the role modeling process, that we hope to get good people to be able to role model for our kids,
We go through a screening process for the criminal checks. In Pennsylvania, we have a child abuse clearinghouse operated by our state government, so that all people must go through that clearinghouse in order to become employed also. So it's a very stringent process, but at the same time, we want people that have a good community affiliation and can serve as positive role models.
One last question, Harriet, defers to Antonio.
My question has been answered.
That takes care of that, and the time is up, and thank you.